Hello guys, if you like my awesome gaming videos, my programming and web development courses, my editing courses and editing videos, and my tech talks and tech guidance, then you can consider subscribing to my channel and click on this bell icon to stay connected with me all the time. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to talk about Redux and RTK query, the latest system, how you can use to fetch your data from the backend to the front end and manage your application states using the Redux store and RTK query, which is the latest and the greatest that Redux currently have. And you will understand everything, the data fetching, manual cache update, especially the pessimistic cache update I really love. Especially the cache update is really complicated. Many of them don't know how to debug their application. So in this video I'm going to help you and guide you through how can you debug all of the pessimistic cache update, especially when you add something to the cache, update something into the cache, and also delete some information from the cache. So this will make your application faster and more performance and give you a better understanding on how Redux RTK query works and give you a full demo and projects based on it. As you know, I am following the Redux and Django and RTK query, so this is the combination of the video, and this is one of the last video of RTK query because this video is all about how you manage your state using the cache update and fetch your data accordingly and just make your application real time with RTK query. So let's get started and let's understand what it offers. Okay, so in this video we're going to work with the manual cache update, especially the pessimistic cache update, which I really like and I really enjoy implementing it, and it is super fast. It is the most modern way how you implement the Redux RTK query in your application and make your application blazing fast. I will show you how can you do that using the update post, how can you do that, and especially for adding something, updating something, deleting something, all of those stuffs. This is our main backend, our Django backend. I have all this information called ID and it contains thumbnail, title, category, description, demo, all of the fields. Okay, so these are the data fields that we have. And we have all those parameters endpoints called delete project will delete something for you if you go to the API slice. And as you can see, we are going to this URL, deleting something. We can go to this URL and use a method put and update something based on the data user have given. And similarly for adding, for getting a single project and to get all the projects. We used tab types to do that, and it uses provides tags. Okay, when you add some information, you need to also invalidate the tags and reload again all those data. Like when you add some information into the add project in this endpoint, you need to reload everything again and get all the projects instantly. And similarly for the update as well, when you update some information, you need to invalidate the cache for the project. So this is very simple and very quick way to do that, but it is not the advanced way to do that. Today I will show you how you can do that manual way. And all this thing is working perfectly. If I go there and view, and as you can see, the update is working. If I change it to backend and change it to any images, suppose this image, instantly it updated. Okay, so you can also delete this thing, it is also deleted. And if you just update also, delete also, and even the create is also work. Suppose if I add any project, give it any information and create a project, instant, all of the thing is working perfectly. What I'm gonna do, add a manual cache update, and so we have to just read the documentation. It is super awesome. Just search RTK query manual cache update, pessimistic cache update. This is the link you have. So what it says, when you wish to perform an update to cache data based on the response received from the server. Listen, this is our main server or API. Okay, data coming from it as an array of information. When you add some data, one more data would be added here like an object, and in the array we push one more object when you add some data. So when this happens and when this performs is done, it calls mutation because we are adding some information. When this is triggered, you can apply pessimistic cache update. When you get all the data from the API properly and get the response, then you can do this pessimistic cache update. The distinction between pessimistic and optimistic is that pessimistic update will instead wait for the response, but pessimistic works when you get the response from the server and then update it. So it is more better and it is more useful in many cases. So this is the thing we're gonna learn. So first we need to write async on query started. It takes two parameters. One is arguments that you can pass. Then we have a dispatch and this thing. So let me copy this thing and paste here. At first just comment it out. At this moment we don't need this. Okay, we also don't need this. Comment it out. When you are adding some information, let's make it perfect. Okay, comment it out And here we're going to use our pessimistic cache update. So you have to write async on query started. It takes some parameter. One is suppose arguments, args, and another one is query fulfilled. When all the thing is done, when suppose we are adding some information, you added the information and get the response. Okay, so this is the thing that will hold the response that you added something. And then we have a dispatch. We can use this thing. Now here you can use try catch block. This is very useful to use a try catch block here. And here you can just console.log this error. Okay, and here you can write something, and this information is coming from await. You have to wait for the query to fulfill the action. And here what we get, you get the data, and you can name it anything like created project, because this model is all about project. If it is based on post, you can write created post, or if it is working on video, created video. Okay, you can name it anything, but make sure the data holds some information. You can console.log this thing like created project. You can see the response, what we get after we add some data into the database. Simple. And also what we can do, we can console.log these arguments. Okay, we can console.log those arguments so that we can see this, how it is working. So this is also help you. So this video will also help you to identify how you can debug your manual cache update thing. How can you debug all of those arguments and the response that you get and the cache. Okay, in this video. So let me console.log this out. Just write anything, whatever you want, and just add this thing paste. As you can see in the API slice line number 40, when the information is added, as you can see, we are waiting when this information is added, and we get the response and we stored it inside the created project. So that is the thing that we want to see in the console.log. Okay, in the manual cache update. So on query started, we get three information. It takes three information, arguments and query fulfilled, that will get the data after the certain portion is done. Suppose I added one more project, and this will wait for that project to insert in the database, and it will give us this data, and we are console.logging this. And we can also dispatch that thing, which I'm going to do later. Just understand what is going on. Here it is giving us category web development. We selected, this is the demo, this is the description, this is the ID number 13, and this is the image, edit image. If you need to refresh it, otherwise you won't see at this moment. As you can see, this is working just fine. And so these are the information that we get, and we didn't get any arguments. If I add one more, so we get argument, we didn't get anything because we are just adding that data. Okay, we can dispatch. What we can dispatch, let me see. So you need to go to the documentation. Here you can write const result. You can use dispatch, that is coming from this on query started. And here you need to call API util update query data. Okay, let me call this. And here I'm going to call dispatch API slice. This is API slice, I guess. Yeah, this is API slice. API slice dot util and dot update query data. Now we need to update the cache, because new information is added. We need to load it instantly. We need to load the data instantly. That's why we need to update the cache. Okay, that's why it is very important. So we're not getting anything here. Just delete this thing. And here what we need to write, as you can see, it is giving a suggestion. We have two routes. First route is to get all the projects that should be updated, and get single project should be updated. But at this moment we need to update only one more thing, get projects. Okay, get list of projects. So this is the thing, this is the page which is called to get list of project. This should be updated when you add some data. Okay, so what we can do, we can add one more information, work on the push. So it should be undefined. As you can see, we are pushing something for the first time. That's why we don't need any ID. So this is the thing we are doing. When we add some data, some information, we don't need to have an ID. You can put it undefined. And here you will have your draft. This, it is draft. and let me see the documentation and draft, and in the draft you need to push that data. Okay, so here we have the draft and draft dot push, and always make sure in this kind of project, just to make sure you have a type check. If the draft has some data, then we can push something. So what we need to push, this is the thing we need to push, created project, because this is the thing we just added to the database. And in the manual cache update, then you have to identify that I am adding one more information called created project, which I just created using the add project. These are the information. These are the information I posted, and this should be added inside this draft, and you need to push that data so that it gets updated that I have added a new thing, and now reload everything in the get projects. Okay, so now it should work perfectly, and let me check if it is working or not. Just I need to remove everything, just remove this thing, and here I need to add one more project. This is the new project so that you can identify, and it is a backend, and give it a simple link. You can give this link to check and give it a simple image. You can give this image. See, it is real time. It works perfectly with this title category, and if you view and we go to projects demo link as well. So everything works perfectly, but we have to work with our detail and delete and update as well. So how can you do that? So pushing is very, very simple. You don't need to do any other thing. So one more thing is now how can we work with other thing? Like here we don't even need this arc. So adding is very simple. We don't need to do anything. Okay, so this is the adding part. So let me remove this thing and save this. Now to delete, when delete you need to do some other work. So you can comment this out. This was our previous code, and we can copy this code again. You can copy this code and paste here. When you delete some project, you need to refetch this get projects again. So you need that. Okay, we need that information. But here instead of this, we are going to do some other work. But before that, you can just remove this out. We don't need to do anything. And here I think we don't need to have pass any information because we are not pushing anything here. And we can console.log. We can console.log arguments. Okay, we have to check which information we are getting. And here we can write console.log draft, console.log json.stringify draft. Now let me tell you why I have written json.stringify, because this draft is proxy type. If you understand JavaScript properly, there is a proxy, as you can see, proxy type. So this is just like type of string. So you need to stringify that to see what is going on inside this draft, because this is a cache. This is not any simple object. This is JavaScript proxy data type. Okay, so I need to log console dot whichever information we are getting. So in the argument we are passing an ID. Okay, so we need to check that. So we are console logging that, and we are also console dot logging some information here. Suppose I need to pass arc. Okay, ID, suppose, just type checking. Okay, so let me check. So here I need to delete that information. So this is the information I want to delete. Okay, so when I click on delete, it is not deleted. So let me go to our console.log. Okay, so the 15 is the ID of this current project. Okay, so this ID of 15. So argument is holding the ID of the project we want to delete. And as you can see, this is the magic. This will give you all the information like ID 1 up to ID 15 that we're going to delete. It will give you every single information inside the proxy. In the JSON registering draft, as you can see, it will give you all the information. Okay, as you can see, it is an array. It is like an array type of thing. As you can see, inside that we have the property ID, thumbnail, category, all of those things, descriptions. So we need to figure out, we need to filter out all the ID that is not 15. So that's how it is deleted. Okay, so how can you do that? It is very, very simple. You need to return draft that is containing all those information. So from that I need to write draft.filter and make sure you use this type check. It will work perfectly. Bring a project, and project has an ID is equals to the project that arguments. Okay, the arguments is actually the thing that we want to delete. Okay, so these are the information. So you can delete this stuff. You can also make it undefined. Suppose if you don't need, you can just make it undefined. I think this will work better. So we are filtering out all the thing that is not this arg, because this args means that this args holds ID number of 15, and we don't want that. We need to filter it out. So we want to have all the projects ID that is not is equals to 15. So give us all the information, all the projects information that in the array of operations. So give us all the array of projects except this ID of 15. So it will remove this project ID of 15 from the database, from this API. Okay, very simple. So this is the way you can do that. So let me check it out if it works or not. Suppose I want to delete this part. View, delete, simple, it is deleted. I want to delete this one. View, delete. And if I just console.log, as you can see, we are deleting this part. We're deleting suppose 13 API slice. As you can see in the arguments, we are holding whichever information we want to delete, and this is coming from this ID because this is the ID of the project that we want to delete. Okay, so this is how you debug your pessimistic cache update. So that's why I want to make sure that you learn it perfectly. So if we go to the API/util update query data and get all the projects again, because you're deleting some information, now you need to get the recent projects that what we have currently after deleting. So that's why you need to, as it is a mutation, you need to call all of them again, get projects again. But you need to, for deleting, you have to filter it out, because in the draft we get all the array of information, and you need to have all this information, all the project ID, except, and we are checking all, give us all the projects with that ID except the ID want to delete. So what we can do now for updating, and we have done all the work for adding and for deleting. Okay, and we don't even need that invalidate cache. This is the most modern way to do. And for update we have to do it more different way. Let me check how you can do this. Okay, and just remove this thing, or you can comment it out. And what you can do, you can copy this stuff, all of this thing. You can copy this stuff and paste it inside the update just after the query. And update takes two parameters. Remember that this is very important. First one is the ID that you want to update, and the information that is going into the API. Okay, these are the data that is user have selected that we need to put, okay, in the put request. So how we do that? We have argument, we have query field fulfilled, we have dispatch. Suppose here we are pushing some data into the database. So I guess here you need to show the information. Like you will get some data response because you are putting some data into the database, you will get the response. Okay, so I just name it updated project. Okay, so what should I do here? You can console.log updated project. This is the updated project. You are console.logging, and let me, okay, you can remove this console.log here because because this part is done and we are just working on this update. Okay, just focus on this. So you have to understand it very well because update is a little bit tricky. and console.log args. Just name it args, and I think it will work better. And we just updated project response and just give it so that you can understand a little bit. Okay, so we are getting, so after we put some data to the database to update some information, it takes some user input and to push all those information into the database, and we are waiting when it is fulfilled. When it is fulfilled, we get this response, and into the data property we're just console.logging. And also we need to update this information, and here I think you need to put this data args.id, and now it is very, very important. And to update, you don't need to do anything. You can suppose console.log json.stringify. First I need to check whatever information we are getting, otherwise you can't do that. Okay, so let's check it out. What it's doing here. Make sure everything is clear, and here this is the information we want to update. So detail, project detail. Okay, so just don't worry about it. This is another log. In the update here you can write recent update. So make sure this is the thing that we are updating, and we are going to development recent updates, recent details, and demo link recent, and give us any images. This image update. So it didn't update, as you can see, it didn't update automatically yet because we didn't perform any operations to do that real time. But just understand, whatever thing we get the form data and ID. Okay, so API slice updated project, whatever we get the category demo and the image. This is the image that we have just uploaded, which is certificate image, recent detail, demo link recent. So all the updated information. So here we get all the updated information. Okay, here we get all the updated information, and here we in the args we get the ID, and the form data we don't have anything. Okay, so at this moment, so, and the draft also we didn't get anything. So why is that? We should have get something here. So let me check the documentation how actually they handle it, because update is a little bit of tricky how you can do that. In the update you need to have the ID. You also need to have assign something to the object. So a lot of things, and you need to update that data. So how you do that perfectly, let's check it out how you should do. You have the ID, and this is the ID that we have. So let me print this args, and let me check what's going on. And now it is updated. So if I update it again, update to recent to link to, and make it backend, and give it a new image called SQLize. Suppose this is the image. Okay, in the form data we don't have anything, and so it works perfectly without any issues. And ID number 1. Okay, let me check. Just name it undefined, and console.log json.stringify. I just want to see the structure of the draft. So this is the thing. Okay, beautiful. So now we get all the information. As you can see, this is actually every information. Okay, it will this is actually the proxy. This is the thing we want. So when you just write it undefined and you want to see the information like draft information, even you can do this. If you don't get this information, you can't do this stuffs, because otherwise you don't understand what is the actual structure. This is an array of object. of each individuals. So now you can work with this thing. Okay, so comment out, just remove this. Here const single project, here you need to go to draft dot filter, and here this is individual item, suppose item.id, because draft will give you all the projects that you have. You need to match item.id is equals to args. Okay, because this args means that information, args, that id, because this args holds the id of the project that you want to update. Okay, so this is the id. So this is the each project information. So we're console.log json.stringify project. Let's check it out. Just capture D. Okay, so this is the id want to update, and it's not working. Suppose args.id. So let's check if it is working. So you have to check a lot of things, whichever thing you work for you. So new update, give it new update, give it backend, give it a new image. Okay, so this works for you. So as you can see, this manual cache update takes a lot of debugging. How you can do? First, I just filtered out, because this will give us all the information as it is a get projects. You need to filter out the item which you want to update. I want the item update whichever information I need. Suppose in the argument we get this id, which is the project id I want to update. So that's why it is coming from the args.id. Now this will contain a single project, whichever information you want to update. As you can see, now it gives us only one object in the array. Instead of filter, I can use find. Find will do the work for you, and it will give you an object. Okay, so if you go to update, just change anything, just change this data to this. As you can see, this will give you an object. Okay, now you can do whatever you want. Okay, now you can assign something. So that's why we find in the array. So get projects, it will give you all the array of information, and you need to find whichever id you want to update. So this id which is matches with arguments id, which is 11 or 13 or 15, whatever, and this is the project you want to update. So how you can do that? Very simple. You just need to update this project dot title with the information that we get, which is updated project, and we need to get its title. Okay, so because this updated project, it holds all the information, latest information what user have given. Similarly, you can copy this stuff for all the thing. So this is for the thumbnail, or you can write it for the category, and this one is for description. Okay, because this object property has all the thing, like each project has its title, category, description, and that is coming from our updated object. Okay, updated response that we get. And this is for demo link, and one is for the thumbnail. You can copy this thing and paste it inside nail, I guess. So this part is very sensitive. If you just do mistake, it would be really problematic. So I have to check id, thumbnail, title, category, description, demo. So these are the 5 fields. So we have a thumbnail, then we have a title, category, description, demo. Title, category, description, demo. I hope this will work just fine. Just remove everything. So to update something, make sure you use the draft.find method, so that you can find from the array of object of the project. You need to find whichever information you want to update, and you will get this data using the args.id, because args has an id that is passed. As you can see, this is the id that it holds, whichever information you want to update. Okay, and make sure you do console.log all of this thing. Like first you will print args, that you will print args.id, whichever thing matches. Okay, And you always use find method to find from the array of object whichever information you want. If you want to see all of this video, I will give you a link, because I have a complete JavaScript video that explains everything, all the inbuilt method of JavaScript, so that you can understand what's going on inside the array and inside the object. You can do all of those steps. Okay, so I highly suggest you to watch that video that I have explained about the JavaScript logic building video. Okay, so I hope it will work just fine. Let me check. I don't know if it work or not. Let me check. If I want to update, suppose I want to update this data to this data, and this is GTA 5 game where I love this. Just write it. Just write everything here. Okay, so just write it here and make sure all of the thing should work. Okay, so okay, we have the title, we have the category, and it worked. It is web development category, it is GTA 5, and description is GTA 5 as well. Okay, and image is updated, but it is updated inside the list of projects, because we have added the functionality to list of projects. As you can see, all the thing that is very important to use to get the projects. You also don't need to write this provide tags or any other thing. You don't need to map those ID or type any other thing. You don't need that. We also don't need that. Okay, and also for when you add some information, make sure you push this data, and after this is successfully inserted into the database, you can easily add this data or the response into the drop.push, which really works perfectly. For the update, it is a little bit of complicated because you have ID and data. First, you need to find which information you want to update, and for that you need to use drop.find, because get project gives us array of objects. You need to find whichever information you want to update, and you want to update item.id, which is args.id, because this this arguments.id gives us the id of information that we want to update. And then you find this project, and in its property, the thumbnail, title, category, description, you just put whatever the updated response is. Okay, just print it out and see which response you get, and then update with this data. Very simple and very easy stuffs. And again, for the delete, you need to fetch this data again. When you fetch the data, you need to filter it out, which information you want to keep. Suppose for deleting, I want to filter out all the projects IDs which are not is equals to that project ID, or in the argument we are getting that ID, project ID. So we need to filter out all of those stuff. We don't want to want that ID in our get projects array. So that's how it is filtering out and deleting this argument that we want to delete. And now it works perfectly. If we just refresh this, and let's check it out. If I want to add one more and add one more data, and just check it, simple. And if you want to delete this thing, it is gone. So and for the update also it works. If I just update something, suppose I want to update the image or update this image, it works instantly. So it updates, deletes, edits, and creates everything so instantly without any issues. So these are all the things, these are all the latest way how you can do pessimistic cache update on RTK query, which is the most modern and advanced thing that RTK query or Redux toolkit package actually provides. For caching update and give your application a much faster response on the user updates. So this is the modern thing that you will use in your real life projects and daily life projects, so that you can make your application much faster, better, and more modern in every case possible. So I hope you see this video again and again. And if you need more reference based on it, I will give you a GitHub link of this code so that you can get all of this thing in your own and you can try it out. I always encourage people to just console.log and find whichever information you need, and based on that just update them. These are the simple way just how you should do that. But in your real life application, you need to practice on your own more and more, okay, to be better at it. So thanks for watching. I will be coming with a lot of amazing content in the near future. Till then, take care. Bye bye.